For the animals who arrived here, this was a fresh start, but for some, trust was not so easily given. The first night can be the hardest, but with time, the shelter becomes a place of comfort and rest. In a place of healing, unexpected friendships begin to bloom. It's the smallest steps that lead to the biggest change. Fear gives way to curiosity as new possibilities start to unfold. It's not about being the same, but about sharing the space together. Each animal took its own time, but the warmth of the shelter created an atmosphere of trust. The healing process took time, but in the company of each other, these animals found peace. For the first time in a long while, they had found a place where they could rest their weary souls. With each new day, they felt a little stronger, a little more at home. The animals, once unsure and hesitant, now found comfort in sharing moments like this together. Play, the language of friendship, was a new experience for them, but one they were beginning to understand. In the quiet moments, they found the strength to rest, healing together in this shared space. Every animal, in their own time, found their place in the world outside the shelter. With loyalty in its eyes, the retriever understood that this was now their family. In this shelter, they had found something far greater than comfort. They had found family. In the stillness, they had found solace in each other's presence. The bonds of friendship grew stronger, one gentle nudge at a time. Even the simplest toys can bring joy and laughter, healing the scars of the past. Even in their own quiet way, each animal brought something special to the group. The cat's purring was a sound of peace, a sign of the comfort it had finally found. After a day of new beginnings, they rested, the warmth of the sun wrapping them in comfort. A small nudge, a simple gesture, but to the cat, it was a sign of trust finally forming. For the first time in a long while, the retriever had a purpose: to protect its new family. Even the smallest creatures had the power to bring joy, and the rabbit had plenty to give. For the first time, they didn't have to sleep alone. They had each other. Grooming wasn't just about cleanliness. It was a sign of trust, of family. What once belonged to one now belonged to all. They shared, not out of necessity, but out of trust. The rhythmic kneading was a habit of kittens, but for this cat, it was a reminder that it finally felt safe. A thump of excitement, a new way to communicate happiness. The rabbit was finally home. A slow blink, a silent message that meant, "I trust you." There was no need for barking or running. Sometimes, happiness was just a quiet wag of the tail. The shelter wasn't just a place anymore. It had become their home. After a life of uncertainty, they finally had a place to call home. And for the first time, they slept without fear. As the first rays of sunlight touched their fur, a new day began. One without fear, only the promise of warmth and care. Every small step forward was a step away from the past, a step toward healing. Some fears are easier to overcome with a friend by your side. For the first time in a long time, the rabbit danced, not out of fear, but out of joy. The warmth of the sun was something the cat had forgotten, but now it was a luxury it could finally enjoy again. Play wasn't just for survival anymore. It was for fun, for connection, for healing. A purr was more than just a sound. It was a promise that things were finally okay. Even in rest, the retriever's instincts never wavered. It would always watch over its family. Food was no longer something to fight for. It was something to share, something to enjoy together. What started as strangers in a shelter had become something more, a family. Some moments change lives forever. This was one of them. In just a few strokes of a pen, a promise was made. a promise of love, safety, and a home forever. For the first time in a long time, the road ahead was clear, and it led to home. A home wasn't just a place, it was a feeling, and they could feel it already. This wasn't just food, it was a taste of the life they had always deserved. For the first time, play was just play. No danger, no hunger, just pure happiness. Trust isn't given easily, but when it is, it means everything. They had fought battles, faced fears, and endured loneliness. But now, finally, they were home. Love changes everything, and for them, it had made all the difference. A second chance isn't just about survival. It's about finding where you truly belong.